And right now, we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick here with Katie Greifeld, taking you through to that closing bell. It's a global simulcast. Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec join us now. Welcome to our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms, television, radio, our partnership with YouTube, Carol Massar.
Yes.
On a day here where the markets are rallying hard on the possibility that we might have a deal to extend the ceasefire in Iran.
I'm just going to say...
I like how you put that.
Been here before, it feels like. I mean, the devil's in the detail, and I just think there's still a second phase of negotiation. There's another clock, 60 days, that's ticking. You know, is it a permanent moratorium on uranium when it comes to Iran? Like,
on where?
From Iran.
Oh. Yeah.
Permanent. Like, these are tricky things that still have yet to be worked out, and nothing's been signed. Nobody's really seen even what's been worked out. I just feel like there's a lot we need to know.
Well,
still.
a question that I still have is how long U.S. assets and U.S. service members are going to remain in the region, Katie, because if you go back to and use the JCPOA as sort of a baseline, that took more than a year to negotiate. So if we don't have an actual agreement with about the nuclear material in place for more than a year, do the service members all stay there? Do U.S. assets stay in the region?
These are all very thoughtful and important questions, and it doesn't seem like any of them are being asked in the equity market right now because, I mean, you're seeing really all sectors and all size caps just taking this news and running with it, and it's really a risk-on rally today.
A risk-on rally, though, as Katie, you pointed out earlier on the close, the idea that this is still kind of concentrated amongst a lot of the big tech names. In fact, tech as a sector is leading the charge here, and it raises the questions as to just how much risk sentiment is risk on, or whether this is just back to the AI trade. Nevertheless, we're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. You're adding about 470 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average today, higher by about 0.9%. The S&P adds about 123 points, or 1.7%. The Nasdaq Composite and the Nasdaq 100 each up more than 3% on the day. And the Russell 2000 getting in on the action, up about 21 points, or 0.7%.
All right, and to Katie's point, I feel like, you look at the S&P 500, it's not like every name is up. 256 names gaining in the S&P 500, but you've also got 245 losing ground on this Monday, 2 unchanged. So it's not like an all-in bet here.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the sector performance as well, because you have 7 sectors in the green, and they're important ones. You do have 4 in the red, though. Leading the charge, as you would expect, it's tech up top, that sector higher by about 3.4%. Communication services higher by 2.4%. Consumer discretionary, the list goes on. In terms of what didn't perform on this Monday, no surprise, energy as a sector down by 3.6%. Real estate and healthcare and consumer staples as well, also in the red.
All right, let's go to some of the individual gainers, if I may, in the Monday trade. Got to talk about SpaceX, up another 19, almost 20% in today's session. So quite a run in its first 2 days of trading, if you will. And of course, jumping in their second day of trading, adding to gains, a blockbuster debut on Friday. We talked about it a lot, the largest IPO ever. Company has exercised the IPO's over-allotment option, which lets underwriters sell an additional 83.3 million shares. So that increases the amount raised to about 86.2 billion. We had some of that reporting coming out. I kind of can't wait for earnings come August. And so now the stock is up more than 30% year to date. Again, only 2 days of trading.
I think we're going to talk about it a lot before earnings.
I would say. Hey, let's go on over to NVIDIA, because this one definitely moved to the upside as well. Some rally there, about 3.5% here. Chip-making giant tapping the debt market for the first time in years. They're raising $25 billion from a high-grade bond sale that received more than 3 times the amount in demand. So underscoring that, once again, investors, anything to do with AI and the AI boom, they are interested in. I want to just point out they drew about $85 billion of orders, hence 3 times the amount that they received in terms of demand. They'd been targeting to raise about $20 billion, according to people familiar with the matter. The deal ties Oracle, Meta, and Salesforce for the second biggest of 2026. We see a lot of tapping the debt markets. That continues. What?
Do we know what rate they paid, what interest rate they paid at all?
I was looking at it before I
not
went
in
in
there.
here, and I don't know that.
Well, I'm always just curious just about kind of the narrative here with some of these companies that obviously don't necessarily need to borrow, but obviously when you talk about with the cost of capital being so low, particularly for a high-grade issuer like this, it's kind of like, why not just grab as much cash as you can?
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing, right, at this
Yeah.
point. I know they're selling it in 7 parts. Maturities ranging from 2 to 30 years.
I thought you knew off the top of your head.
No.
You can just move on then.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
How was your weekend, by the way?
So helpful. I got stuff to do. I'm too busy here. Hey, Western Digital is the #1 gainer in the S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. Morgan Stanley raising the firm's price target on Western Digital to $650 from $488 a share. The stock up 16% here, closing at $653 and change. So above that price target. They're keeping the overweight rating on the stock. They say following a week on the road with management, including the company's CEO and CFO, the firm has an even greater conviction that hard disk drive demand is strengthening with customers seeking visibility into 2013. So yeah, that one an outperformer. #1, S&P 500, Nasdaq 100. Tim, take it away.
All right, let's start with some of the worst performers in the S&P 500 today. Pfizer, third worst, let's call it second worst performer in the S&P today. It fell 11%, lowest level in more than 9 years after the CEO, Michael Lyons, quit to take the top job at Truist Financial. Lyons will take over from Bill Rogers at Truist. Bill Rogers will stay on as the bank's executive chairman, will be paid $40 million to compensate for his forfeited pay at Pfizer. Pfizer replaced Lyons with Takis Georgakopoulos, effective immediately, and reaffirmed its financial outlook for 2026. This was a surprise for a lot of people, including investors. Pfizer shares fell by close to 11%. Fox shares, and we're going to talk to Geetha Ranganathan in just a few minutes about what exactly Fox is going to do with Roku. Closing down a record 17%, biggest intraday decline going back to when this version of Fox started trading back in 2019. Roku will be bought by Fox in a deal valued at about $22 billion, including debt. According to terms of the deal, Fox will pay $96 in cash and nearly 97/100ths of Fox Class A shares per Roku share. Once again, Fox Corp shares falling by close to 17%. And finally, oil had a tough day today. Fell today, including some of the oil majors. ExxonMobil down more than 4%.
Yeah.
Energy stocks took a hit after the U.S. and Iran said they reached an interim agreement to reopen the strait. If you look at where oil is, Brent still above $83 a barrel, WTI above $81 a barrel, but both of those fell just about 4% today.
All right, a quick check on yields. Relatively modest moves on the day here. Yield slightly lower on the shorter end of the curve, slightly higher on the long end of the curve. Basically, we're talking about 1 basis points either up or down across the board. So not a lot of activity there, maybe a bit of a holding pattern as people await, of course, Kevin Warsh's first appearance as Fed chair behind the podium on Wednesday.
All right, super exciting. So too was the Saturday night game of the Knicks. They are champions on several different levels, and it's going to be an interesting week here in New York. We've got the parade. Is it on Thursday?
Yeah, we're not even
Thursday.
here for it. The ticker tape parade.
Yeah.
Where are you?
We're in Las Vegas.
We're going to be on a plane.
Yeah.
We're going to be on a
Okay,
plane.
all right. Let the real New Yorkers talk. Katie,
Yes, Katie.
So, yeah, I mean,
Real
Tim,
New
you're a
Yorker
Californian,
Katie, who-
and I don't know where Carol's like. grew up on
As
a
Katie
boat
always,
somewhere.
as Katie's
Yeah.
hats always remind us, New York or nowhere. She wears them all around New Jersey.
Nowhere, yeah. I see them all along the Hoboken waterfront, those New York or nowhere.
Do they know where they are?
Wait, Hoboken is not New York.
That's what I say.
I
and,
mean, come on, Romaine.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I'm the only technically New Yorker here, right?
Wait, where were you
Why-
born?
why?
Wait,
I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
But for
exactly.
today, I mean, I'm the only one, like, apparently not wearing a royal blue and orange today. But it gets into this idea. I mean, we talk about the jerseys selling out everywhere if you can get your hands on them. Basically, any kind of paraphernalia has become a hot item. We spoke with John Rogers, the legendary investor at Ariel, who's been all in on James Dolan companies for years now. He's the biggest shareholder in MSGE, one of the biggest shareholders in MSGS. Both, of course, there's a lot of speculation that the valuations of those properties might go up as well.
What about the Sphere?
The Sphere.
How does he feel about the Sphere?
Oh, he's all in on
he's
the
all-
Sphere.
yeah, he's
Oh,
big
that's
in the
all he
Sphere
talks
as
about.
well.
Trust me, if you ever go out to dinner with him, that's all you're going to hear about.
But wait, can I just say that the New York Fanatics was taking in, just check out this stat, 8,000 orders per minute at one point.
I believe it.
For New York Knicks
I was looking
gear.
for gear for my son, and it was hard to find.
Well, this is why I know, Romaine, you're chauffeured here in a helicopter
Yeah.
each day.
Yeah.
But if you took the subway,
It's
like
just a
people,
blade, so it's,
Romaine,
it's a share.
There was this guy outside of the
Yeah.
59th Street subway on Friday selling a bunch of great knockoff gear that you could have bought.
I was going to say, did it
Yeah.
actually
yeah.
say Knicks or just New York?
It was the one that
NIX?
the Taylor Swift
Oh,
one.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
That was
But,
pretty cute.
but that's the beauty of New York, right? You
Yeah.
can find a knockoff for anything here.
Anything.
As long as it's blue and orange, we know what you mean.
Designer gear on Fifth Avenue.
That's right.
On the sidewalks.
Did you see what Anne-Marie Hordern was wearing?
I actually didn't.
Oh, okay.
Good talk.
Nice. Somebody throw up a picture.
Well done, well
gotta
done,
go.
well done. All right, none of us apparently are New Yorkers.